Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Nappik.
Welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And as always, we go forth to entertain, inform, and even inspire. And today, once again, a remote trip. I am in Lake Jackson at our location, Stewart Title in Lake Jackson, a wonderful place to close your next real estate transaction, especially if you're in the area. If not, we have Stewart offices everywhere. So whether you're listening in Houston, Texas, you might be in Lake Jackson, you may be in the Woodlands, or even Dana Point, California. We have assembled tremendous guests, and today we're going to find out about Brazoria County, real estate-wise, what's going on, what's the draw here. And our first guest is Gary Basinger. He is with the Alliance for Brazoria County, the Economic Development Alliance. Gary Basinger is the president and CEO of that organization. Gary, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Here we are, and many people, and I think that there's some people still in Houston that have not been to Lake Jackson or have explored Brazoria County. So today we'll give them an idea of what's down here, what the economic drivers are, maybe the future. But first, Gary, let's give people just an idea of what it looks like here, if you would paint a picture for us.
Yeah, Brazoria County is very unique in that the northern part of the county with Pearland, Manville, Alvin area, it is essentially a bedroom community for Houston. There's a lot of industrial growth going on in Pearland. There's a lot of medical growth going on, a lot of employees for the Texas Medical Center. So the northern part of the county is an urban area. You come on down, you've got Angleton through the middle, and pretty much an agricultural stretch through there with rice farmers of all varieties, ranchers such as that. And then you get down to the southern part of the county, and it's heavily petrochemical. You've got petrochemical over in the Sweeney area. You've got petrochemical over at the Chocolate Bayou area. But it's a very unique county in that you've got, again, the urban, rural, petrochemical, white collar, blue collar.
A lot of stuff going on, and I noticed just driving from West Houston, it's a nice drive. There's a lot of things just driving along south on 288. So if people are, let's say you are in Dana Point, California, enjoying tremendous weather there probably, but wherever you are, if you haven't been here, just picture Houston and then go pretty much directly south for, 50 miles. What would you say, Gary? I came from the west, so my trip was about 70 miles today, but it was a very pleasant drive, and most of that drive was on 288, a very important highway.
Yeah. From where we're at in Lake Jackson to the northern part of Brazoria County is 40 miles. And yes, 288 is the major thoroughfare, north-south thoroughfare. They are currently building a toll road and expressway to help relieve the traffic congestion on the northern part of 288, but it's goes straight into downtown Houston.
What would you tell people if they were, use that as a landmark, downtown Houston, without excessive traffic? Here we are, take Lake Jackson, we're right off of 288 here at Stewart Title. How long does it take for that direct route from 288 to, say, downtown? What would you tell people without a lot of traffic?
An hour.
No big deal. A great place if you haven't been here to explore, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So let's tell people the economic drivers here. I mean, Dow Chemical Company, I think it was in the 40s, established their headquarters here or an office or a manufacturing facility here. Yeah. Let's tell people how, say, from Dow till today, 2019, almost 2020, what's going on here economically and how this area has just really grown so much.
Yes, the southern part of Brazoria County, the Brazos Port area, has been since 1940 when Dow came here, has been a petrochemical center, and it is historic, epic, whatever adjective you want to use.
I like epic.
What has been going on in the southern part of the county since 2013? Since early 2013, there has been or is ongoing $31 billion worth of new petrochemical plant construction, either completed, underway, or soon will start construction. To put that in perspective, before 2013, the Brazoria County Commissioner's Court had never seen a capital investment project of $1 billion. Since 2013, they have seen 12. 10 of them are either under construction, completed construction. 2 of them are pending construction. So it's epic, the revitalization that's going on. And it's going on in the southern part of the county. It's going on at Sweeney, the chemical plants there, and at Chocolate Bayou. And what is driving this revolution in the petrochemical industry is the Eagle Ford Shale oil and gas formation south of San Antonio. And why that is the driver is because of the natural gas that's being extracted from that shale formation is a wet natural gas. It has the natural gas liquids that the plants use for fuel and also to make plastics.
And I was looking on the Dow website just out of curiosity. Dow is certainly a household name, but when you look at their website and the products and the things that they provide for other manufacturers, they cover everything: consumer products, hair care products, certainly plastics, and all those things, and certainly a lot of industrial applications as well. So here we are as we think about even this being the general greater Houston area in a way. It just makes me think of how unique and important Houston is. Every day we're learning things about it, and I've been here since, I won't even say when, the 80s, but it's fascinating.
Yes. Yeah, and recently Dow DuPont had their merger, and then they recently split up into 3 separate companies. And of course Dow is one of the 3, and the Brazosport Texas operations facilities here has always been important in Dow's global market, but it's even more critical now because about 30% of everything Dow makes worldwide is made here in the Brazosport area at Dow's facilities.
Fascinating. And if someone, putting Dow aside for a second, as far as other businesses that come here and other things that attract other businesses, do they contact your organization for information before, like if I was going to open, I don't know, some kind of a store or some kind of business here, would I talk to you and you'd give me the lowdown on what's going on?
Yes, we do that often to talk about all the growth that's going on, to explain how we're booming. If it's retail driven, that is something more that they go to individual cities like the city of Lake Jackson and talk to them about it. So retail is more of the individual city where they're looking to go to. We talk to companies about, developers out of Houston or whatever that wants to do stuff, and they want to know, well, what's going on? Is this, for example, several years ago, back when this boom started, there was a tenant that was wanting to go into the Brazos Mall here, and they said, well, the price of oil at that time was over $100 a barrel. And they said, well, yeah, everything's going great here, but as soon as the price of oil drops, which it always does, y'all are going to be hurting. So we sent a letter to the company in New York and said, what's going on here has nothing to do with the price of oil. It has to do with the natural gas liquids coming out of the Eagle Ford Shale. So it's booming despite what the price of oil is doing.
So it's like Houston in general. Many years ago, maybe we were tied just to oil, but now we are so diverse, and there are just so many reasons people are coming to the greater Houston area and certainly Brazoria County. Give us another idea about the project that you were mentioning with the shale and all that. What else should we know about that?
Well, that's just, it's been historic because going into late 2008, it was projected that there would never be another petrochemical plant built from the ground up in the U.S., that everything was going overseas, that it would just gradually die and disappear and go away, which would have a huge impact on the Brazosport area. Well, what changed that all around was horizontal drilling and fracking. And with that, then they were able to get the oil and gas out of the shale formations, and that completely changed everything.
So as we are here approaching the fourth quarter, or finishing the third quarter, going into the fourth, and then a brand new year, as far as the economic development here, how has it been this year? And as you look ahead and plan, I'm sure you're in meetings and talking to people all the time. What are you looking ahead to see and expect in 2020?
Well, we've still got projects that are looking at us. We've got about $4.5 billion of serious prospects looking. Some of these projects under construction are going to finish up, and more coming online, but it's not going to be as hectic as it's been in the past, which is kind of a good thing because it allows us to catch our breath. But one of the things that we started this year addressing is, with all of this growth and boom going on in the southern part of the county, we have a housing shortage, and we're trying to get more developers and more housing in the southern part of the county. And the Alliance formed a housing committee early this year, and we are currently having Community Development Strategies do a housing demand study for the southern part of the county. So we'll have something to go to developers, builders, whoever, to come down here and build more houses. There's developments going on, such as Woodshore, 200 acres, but it's about 2 years from being built out. It's being built out a lot faster than the developer ever thought it would. And there's some smaller ones out there also, but they're being built out fast. We need to get more going, because a lot of a significant number of the new hires at Dow, BASF, the plants, by no choice, have to live in the Pearland, Manville, Sugar Land area and drive back and forth, because there's just not enough selection and housing down here. So with growth, you always have issues, but we've got some good issues, but housing is one of them that we're trying to address.
It's so fascinating, and I'm thinking about, and I say it all the time, Houston is growing in every direction. North, south, east, Conroe, down here in the south. And it makes Pearland seem like it's in the middle. As you mentioned, Pearland, I saw some new developments as I was driving through Pearland today, and it's kind of in the middle of things, which makes Pearland even greater. So it's absolutely fascinating. Before we close out the segment, what else would you like people to know?
Oh, just that Brazoria County is, well, one, it's a great place to live, and it goes back to I live here in Richwood, which is a suburb of Lake
Nearby
Jackson.
Here.
Yeah. And the thing I like about it is the hour drive. If you want to go to Houston, go to Hobby Airport. It's an hour away.
Right, yeah.
So it's you're close to it, but you're not in it. So you have a slower, high quality of life.
Sounds good to me. We're talking with Gary Basinger. He is the president and CEO of the Alliance in Brazoria County for Economic Development. Gary, if they want to learn more, what's the website?
www.eda-bc.com.
One more time.
www.eda-bc.com.
And we're going to come right back with even more. You're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
Here we go. The show continues. I am your host, Bill Nampick, and now we're going to talk about money right here in the Lake Jackson area with Jeanette Merritt with Gateway Mortgage. Jeanette, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
We're doing a little radio show here in Lake Jackson. I always love to get in the car and go other places and be in the remote town. But let's tell people, here you are, Gateway Mortgage. You're a lender, obviously. Let's tell people a little bit about your company and perhaps a few distinctions.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm Jeanette Merritt with Gateway Mortgage Group. I'm a part of a team here in Lake Jackson. The team is made up of Steve Thompson, Shane McGeehee, Maribel Lanusa, and myself. A few distinctions with my company is we do not charge any origination fees. We have fast turn times, and we have some county-specific products here that really come in handy in southern Brazoria County.
So and let's broaden that out as people are following along. We're here in Lake Jackson, Brazoria County. What kind of area, when we think about this county, tell us of some of the towns that encompasses and maybe how big an area. I didn't really look on the map when I came down.
Okay, so probably the largest area is going to be Lake Jackson and Angleton. We are surrounded by Clute, Richwood, Sweeney, and some of the areas that Gary mentioned earlier.
So as far as the biggest town, is that Lake Jackson, or then here comes Angleton?
I would say Lake Jackson and then Angleton.
How far are we from an actual lake? Is there really a Lake Jackson? Just curious.
There is, yes.
Are we very far from it?
No.
Where we're here at Stewart Title?
No, we are not.
So as we think about, you were talking about some of the things of your programs or loans that are unique to this area. Did I catch that?
Yes.
So
So we've got
let's
some
help-
grant
yeah.
programs that we can do here in Brazoria County with some good income limits. So lots of people can qualify for them. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer.
So does that mean if you're over a certain income or under a certain income?
If you're over a certain income,
Okay.
then you would not qualify. But the
If you're
income limits
under-
are healthy, so we can get a lot of people approved for those.
So, and it seems to me in the world of a loan, each individual or family, husband, wife, whatever, you would need to tailor it to their
right.
circumstance and to whatever they're looking for, the size of the loan, things like that,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
Give us an idea about that, because I don't know how many different type of loans are available, but give us an idea of,
It really
of
just
how that works.
Yes, it just depends on the customer and what their availability is on funds and what kind of loan product they're looking for. Different loan programs carry different things like mortgage insurance and things of that nature, depending on how much money they have to utilize for down payment.
Out of the, let's say, 10 loans that you have done in the last 10 loans, what is the average amount that people put down these days in those last 10?
Average is probably going to be somewhere between 3.5% to 10% down. We do see 20% down as well. I would say it's mostly common for around that 5.
So the 20% down is more rare or not?
Down here it really just depends. I would say maybe 40% of our customers put 20% down, and a lot of people want to strive to do that to avoid that mortgage insurance.
Right,
That
right.
waives the mortgage insurance.
And then how often does someone, let's say, put more than 20% down? Is that
Every now and then, yes.
Every now
I've
and
got
then?
a couple going right now that are putting more than 20%
the
down.
more you put down, the sooner you pay it off,
That's
right?
right. And we do not have any prepayment penalties, so they can put a big chunk down and pay it off early if they would like to.
And I'm sure people ask you all the time, maybe they've asked you already today, what is the interest rate? Does that drive you crazy?
Well, no, it doesn't drive me crazy, but there are a lot of variable factors into giving somebody a rate. A lot of it, of course, has to do with credit score, debt to income ratios, if they're waiving escrows or not. All of these things are a factor in where that score is going to come out to be.
So for
or that
some
interest rate.
and wouldn't also the length of the loan, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have a 15 year, it's going to be is better than a 30.
Then a
right?
30, correct.
So if I were going for the lowest interest rate, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I would go with, say, a 15-year, and I would have top credit. Mm-hmm. What's the highest credit you've ever seen?
Oh, gosh.
Or
we've
somewhere
seen
in
some
the range,
good.
yeah.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
the-
We see some credit scores over 800. Yeah, we see some.
So if someone has, let's say, 820, is that?
That's a good
That's
score.
excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, what are some of the other things going on right now? What about as far as veterans and other products?
We
So
do
give us
VA
an idea.
loans. We do VA loans and a couple other products to talk about. We do renovation loans, which comes in handy down here, I'm sure anywhere, but due to some recent floods that we've had in the last couple of years, we're seeing a lot of buyers purchasing homes that were flooded and rolling in the cost of the renovations. That's been a really popular product in the last year.
And of all the things you could be doing, here you are in the mortgage world, helping people buy homes, and probably you're helping investors too, not just one
Yes.
time at it. What about the investors?
We do investment loans as well. Yeah, and we can do the repair loans as an investment. So we have people that are wanting to buy an investment home, fix it up and rent it out. We offer that product as well.
So you have sometimes you have clients that work with you on several homes per year, right? It sounds like.
Yes, we do a lot of repeat business.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Of all the things you could be doing, here you are in the financial world. What is it that you love about this versus anything else?
I love my job because I love helping people get into their home. you're part of a big experience in their life, and we strive to do a really good job and make it a memorable experience in a good way. That's probably my favorite thing about this job.
And here you are, you live in this area, right?
Yes.
And as far as just the lifestyle of living here in the Lake Jackson area, what is it that you like about it down here?
Like Gary mentioned earlier, it's a little bit slow of a pace here. You can get to Houston fast if you want to experience that, but down here it's a very great place to raise your family. Schools are good, community involvement's great. I just would highly recommend, if anybody's interested in checking out this area, to look us up.
Well, there's probably people in Houston that may at some point in their life say, hey, I want to go for that little bit slower pace and at least enjoy it while it still is that, because who knows, 10 years from now, as the growth seems to not stop, you never know, but there are people that probably live in the center of the city and say, maybe I want to, or maybe they want a second house out here. Do you ever help people with loans for second homes down here?
Yes, because
we thought about that.
Yes, we're so close to the coast, so we do a lot of second home purchases too. Okay. So people wanting a beach house for the weekend, canal front home.
That sounds good.
Those, yeah.
So before we close this segment out, what else would you like people to know, Jeanette?
Well, I would like everybody to know that at Gateway Mortgage here in Lake Jackson, we strive to do a good job for our customers. We want to work with you. We want a shot if you're looking for a mortgage. We'd love to visit with you. We're located in downtown Lake Jackson. We'd love for you to give us a call. Our office number is 979-318-2889.
Again, that number
979-318-2889.
And what's your website?
Our website is www.gatewaymortgage.com.
Jeanette Merritt. Thank you, Jeanette, for being on the show. And we're going to come right back with even more. Welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am still your host, Bill Nampick, and now the adventure continues with Greg Flanagan. Greg Flanagan and Associates. He's a real live realtor right here in the Brazoria County area. Greg, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here, Bill. Thank you.
You are a real live realtor, aren't you?
I am.
And let's tell people, you've been a realtor for many, many years. So let's give people an idea of your longevity and maybe how things have changed through these many years.
Well, I've been selling real estate for 44 years. When I graduated from U of H with a business degree, I couldn't decide what I wanted to do, and I had a real estate course previous to that, and I decided I would try it out. So I got my license and practically starved to death.
Give me an idea, and I bet a lot of people start like that, but as far as just turning the clock back a little bit, those many years, give us an idea just for the fun of it. What was it like, say, the first couple years as far as the process of real estate?
When I first got in the business, we had a one-page contract that had about 2 small paragraphs of fine print. In fact, I closed my first transaction with Stewart Title. Jane Hanson there in Angleton.
I've heard that name, yeah.
Yes, and she helped me with that contract, but it was interesting, working with the public. And now then we have contracts that are 9 pages long with 4 addendums and a 5-page disclosure.
And there's a couple more coming around the corner yet that we're going to have.
Yeah, so it's a complex business now, and you need an agent and a title company that can help you.
Indeed, you need a great team helping you all along the way, like title companies, home inspectors, all those things. But give us an idea, let's say, of what hasn't changed. I'm thinking, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm thinking that still the relationship that you build with your clients, your potential clients, is so important. But there's also that part of just going out and looking at homes and letting them soak in the home as you show it. I'm just imagining. What's it like?
Well, it's a service business. I tell my staff we don't sell real estate, we sell service. And the key is you've got to go out and find a listing, where someone says, I want you to sell my house. And you have to be able to establish a value by doing a market analysis, comparing their home to other homes that have sold, so you can get a fair market value price. Then you have to find a buyer and get that buyer qualified for a mortgage loan, so you can find out exactly what they can qualify for and get a house price range that they can look and feel comfortable, know they're going to be able to buy.
And as we were talking about loans, and you just mentioned it, how often, though, do you find cash buyers? Out of 10, let's say the last 10, using that number again, the last 10 transactions, how many have been cash, if any?
One has been cash. But yes, there are several mini cash buyers during the year because people have sold other homes and they're moving into our area because of the industry and the job opportunities. So they have money in hand and they don't do a mortgage. They just say, let's find a house and then write a check.
And certainly for the seller, it's great to have a cash buyer.
It certainly makes a big difference because it relieves them of having to worry about whether people can qualify for a mortgage, and it's a lot faster transaction that Stewart Title can close.
And you're right here, Freeport, Lake Jackson, Brazoria County, as we're calling it. Give us an idea of how you approach the real estate. Is it geographically, or how do you go about it?
Our office is located in Freeport, but we handle Freeport, Clute, Lake Jackson, Richwood, Angleton, Sweeney, West Columbia, Surfside. So it's the southern part of the county. Freeport is about 20% of our business, and the remaining part of the county makes up the balance.
And I guess we're thinking as far as people arriving in the area, and as we think about people moving to Texas in general, Houston, and this area, new arrivals every day, I would guess. How many people are leaving the area, in your experience, to go either to another job in another state, another country, or what's the exit?
I think it's fairly static. I think the inflow of people is larger than the outflow. We have some people who retire from the chemical industry, Dow and such, and they decide they want to move off the coast where they don't have to put up with an occasional hurricane. But they will be relocating, farther inland. But the majority of people, we come in from all over the country. We handle a property management division also, and we manage a large number of homes throughout the county. And we have people relocating from West Coast, East Coast, Central, because of the job opportunities here.
There are a lot of economic opportunities in Houston in general, and certainly this area too. It's astounding.
It is. I mean, people have come down here we have a large number of people still working at the Freeport LNG plant, which is located in Quintana, which is only about 8 miles from Lake Jackson. And that is a huge project. They will be exporting liquefied natural gas. It's amazing what they're doing down there at Quintana Island.
When you have the opportunity to see and meet someone that's never been here before, and I would think through those many years that's happened, what are some of the things they say? Let's say they come from out of the state, for example, and they just got here, and you're showing them homes or talking to them before you're going to show them homes. What are they saying? Like, oh my goodness, I didn't know. Fill in the blanks.
It's good and bad. Depending on what time of the year they show up, it might be the summer heat and humidity that kind of overwhelms them, or it could be that they're overwhelmed with the beauty of natural resources, because Freeport and Lake Jackson are very close to fishing, hunting. Freeport is the closest city to deep water. A lot of people do deep sea fishing, and there's lots of bay fishing. There's hunting, deer, dove, quail. All that's within, a 15-minute drive.
Are we near Matagorda? I didn't check.
Matagorda County is about a 40-minute drive.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
But that's also a fishing place.
Yes,
I know
it
a guy
is.
that goes out there all the time for fishing. So a lot of things. And that might be one of the reasons, too, people that may leave Houston or get the second home right here to be able to enjoy some of those things on the weekends or
you're exactly right. We have people that come down that do fishing, and they want to have something close to the water. Surfside is close to the beach. A lot of people have second homes at Surfside, and we've seen more and more people that have a desire to have a second home that's on a couple of 3 acres, and the real estate is still affordable as compared to the Houston area, where they'll come down and buy a house or buy 10, 15 acres and just come down to chill out.
Give us an idea of two things that you mentioned. Surfside, if someone wanted to say that second home or just a getaway, and say they want a nice, modest, nothing extravagant, but just that getaway, a nice place in Surfside, give us an idea of a price range and what we're going to get for, you mentioned the amount.
Well, depending upon the proximity to the beach and the age and the condition, they're going to spend anywhere from $175,000 to about $325,000. And but there's a lot of new construction at Surfside, so they need to come down and check it out.
So let's say, how about the number? Let's take 250. If we had 250 and we want to go to Surfside and be somewhere where, again, a nice home doesn't have to be large, but maybe more importantly, the surroundings are nice and maybe a little bit close to the water. Can we get anything in that 250?
I think so, yes. Prices there at Surfside range anywhere from $180 to $250 a square foot for living area.
And as you, now generally speaking, as you're talking to sellers, what are you how are you coaching your sellers right now? If someone's saying, hey, Greg, take a look at my home, do the market analysis, what else are you telling them?
I'm telling them that the economy is still strong here in southern Brazoria County and around Lake Jackson, but it has started to slow down. Our rentals have been hectic for the last few years, but demand for rentals is starting to slow down, and some demand for housing is still strong, but you have to be priced realistically to get your home sold.
And Greg, before we close out this segment, what else would you like people to know? And let's tell them how they can reach out to you.
I want them to know that we want to work with them and make their real estate transaction as stress-free as possible, because there's lots of things going on during a real estate transaction, and you need a agent, brokerage firm, and a title company that can help you through that process. They can reach us at 979-233-7828. We're located in Freeport at 1101 North Brazosport Boulevard. Our website is flanaganrealestate.com.
That's FLANIKEN. Give them a call at 979-233-7828. Greg Flanagan, thanks, Greg, for being on the show. Welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. I am your host, Bill Nampick, and now Megan Arseneau with TCP Real Estate. Let's tell people, first of all, Megan, about your company, TCP, and what does it stand for?
Okay, so TCP stands for Texas Capital Properties, which actually our main brokerage resides out of Austin area. That's where I went to school. That's where I finished school. And whenever I finished with business, I started at TCP, and they ended up following me down here whenever I moved back. I spent about 5 years in Austin, Texas, and ended up back in Brazoria County.
And I bet they're so glad to be a part of what's going on in this Brazoria County.
They are. So whenever I first moved back, I started working with my mom at Century 21, and I was still with TCP, and they saw the deals that we were closing in a short amount of time. They asked, first questions were, where is Lake Jackson and what is going on there?
And I bet you told them.
I did. I said, come on down, let me show you. And so we brought them down, and they saw what they loved and ended up opening up a company for me and my mother to run together.
That's incredible. Well, let's tell people again, remind them as the show is progressing. We are right here in Brazoria County. We are at Stuart Title in Lake Jackson. But again, from your perspective, you live in Lake Jackson, right?
I do.
So let's tell people, if they've never seen it, especially if they're from outside of the state, describe it a little bit.
Well, for someone who has lived in several major cities, I would say that Lake Jackson, the city of enchantment, is really nice. You've got, it's very close. Everybody's really close. You have friends everywhere you go. You know everybody. You know their moms, their grandmas, their cousins, everybody's friends. So it's really a small community in a growing town. I'm very excited to be able to see the development that's happening and be a part of that. So yeah, that's
well, as a real estate professional, you're driving around and seeing homes all day long, buyers and sellers. Give us an idea from your point of view, the marketplace at this time. How is it?
So being a top producer in the area, the market, I think, is still doing really, really well. It has slowed a little bit, as Greg was saying earlier, but I still think overall we haven't hit our climax yet. I think that there's still a lot that's going on in this area. And yeah, just we're really excited to be a part of it, to be a part of the growth and everything that's happening.
And when we think about buyers and sellers, we were talking a little bit about the sellers, but as far as buyers go, let's say I came to you and said, look, I want to buy a home in this area, and I'll even say I'm not sure if I want Lake Jackson, Surfside, but I would say I have $350,000 to spend, let's say. How do you coach that buyer at this point of time? And if someone were interested in just say something, just a nice area with some natural beauty, where would you direct them to spend that $350? Or direct me to spend that $350?
So I would definitely start with Lake Jackson and then follow it up with Angleton. One of the first questions I would ask is if they have children. If they do, the ages, because we have some really awesome school zones in the area. And I think that's, one of the bigger choices that people are making when looking for a home is, the school districts that we have and what schools their kids would be going to. I think in Lake Jackson alone, we have 5 elementary schools, and 3 of them are exemplary. So our school districts are really good. Then I'd probably follow it up by where they work and try to stay within a good location of their job.
And as far as school districts go, even if you don't have kids, it's always a great idea to be in a good school district. So when it's time to sell your home,
right, resale value is
have
still
that
really
resale.
good.
Yeah. What are some of the other things that you tell buyers when you first go out? And by the way, I don't know if there's an average number, but I'm just thinking about this. How many, when you go out with someone the first time to look at, quote, a bunch of homes, how many homes do people usually want to see on that first time around, or how many do you advise them to look at?
Well, Bill, we don't really have a whole lot on the market right now. So if you're shopping between the price range of $175 and $250, there might be 8 to 10 homes on the market. And
total.
Total. So if
Wow.
you can get them all done in one day, great. But that's kind of one of the issues that we're dealing with, is that housing shortage. And whereas we touched on before, we are trying to get more developers to come down and build us housing developments, especially affordable housing developments, because we do have a couple of going up around the area. But if you're not approved for $300,000, it's hard to get into those homes, and especially with rising taxes and now insurance with flood and windstorm, the monthly payments on those get to be really high. So affordable housing, I think, is where we're having our biggest shortage. There's just not enough of it.
As far as the selection or lack of selection of housing, it may be tight, but the homes that are available, generally speaking, how many choices do we have if we want new construction?
Okay, so new construction,
you need more developers.
We do. We just need more developers. Under 300,000 price range, there's a couple of neighborhoods that you can find. College Parks is a good one. That's a great neighborhood, good school zones. It's a great smaller community within a small community. So I find a lot of buyers are kind of looking over there because it's still, within that affordable price range of, $255 and below. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot of options if you're trying to stay around Lake Jackson and Angleton. You can find some of those new constructions in Freeport. But again, if you're looking for school districts or something like that, and you want to stay centrally located within Brazoria County, your only choices are Lake Jackson and Angleton. And the new development in an affordable price range, there are none.
So, of all the things, why did you choose in your life real estate as your career? You could be doing a lot of different things. Why real estate? And what keeps you so motivated to be that top producer?
So besides all the women in my family kind of pushing me to go that direction, I think I chose real estate.
You mean like your mom?
Like my mom, like my aunts, everybody. So I think one of the main reasons why I chose to do what I do is because as a millennial, we weren't taught how to invest, how to buy real estate, how to read a contract. So for me to be able to back these kids up and show them how to start investing wisely and where to put your money and how to build your credit, I think that is the main reason why I do what I do. There's a lot of misconception for younger people, younger adults who think that they have to have 20% down to purchase a home, or, they have to have this 800 credit score when, in reality, we have so many grants and programs, especially around the Brazoria County area, where we offer to people with lower income. We can get you in those homes. We close deals all the time that our buyers are actually getting money back at closing because of some of these grants that, like people like Jeanette offer. So there's definitely, if you want it, we can make it happen. And having someone to back you, like Stewart Title, like Greg Flanagan, like Mega Realty Team, you have these people who stand behind you, and if you want to make it happen, we will make sure that it does.
That is awesome. Let's tell people, when we think about things as far as why people are in the real estate profession, whether it's realtors, mortgage, whatever, or even in the title. Sometimes TV influences us. We see the TV shows, people driving around in Mercedes, $1 million homes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, but the reality is there are challenges in real estate, and some of them get pretty trying
Every day.
for the real estate professional. Let's tell people, give us a quick word how you handle challenges during the transaction, should one arise or several.
One of the ways that I deal with my challenges, I think that, I just take the situation, whatever it is, I sit back, I kind of, analyze it from every direction and figure out what is the best way to handle the situation for not only my clients, but everyone involved in the transaction. A lot of the times, we have to go to lenders, we have to go to the other agents, and it really makes it so much easier to solve these problems when they do arise, when you have people who are willing to work together
The right team.
to get it done. The right team, exactly. In the end, being a real estate agent, you're your own business, but in reality, we all work together to get it done. It's one big team.
Big team. Before we close this segment, what else would you like people to know, Megan, and how can they reach you?
So I would like everyone to know that Mega Realty Team is here to help anybody who is looking to buy, sell, invest, develop. We are here. You can reach us at 979-709-3761.
That's 979-709-3761. Megan Arseneau. Thank you, Megan, for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting us.
We're coming right back. Stay with us, please. Here they are, Stewart Insurance, back again. Brittany Taggart, John Bramlett. Hey, guys, welcome back.
Hello.
Howdy, Bill.
Good to see you all. And we always want to
you.
talk about insurance and learn more, and also learn how you're helping real estate professionals and people far and wide every day.
Well, and what we've tried to do this year and over the last couple of years is formalize some of those discussions. So we have a series of CE classes that we offer our real estate partners to enable them to, one, better understand insurance from a real estate perspective, but also be a better resource, as you mentioned earlier, for their clients. So we've got a real estate liability, reduce your risk and protect your license, property insurance essentials for real estate professionals, and two sides of water.
Those are great classes. Education is just so important for the real estate professional and all of us as homeowners and even buyers and sellers. We have to be on top of things. They are ever changing.
Absolutely. And I think I heard before is staying at the forefront and making sure we're not falling behind and staying current with our education. And I think insurance is just a part of the transaction. We talked about all these different parties, and even from an insurance perspective, we can take some knowledge there and help out these home buyer and home seller clients from that perspective. And not just from the insurance perspective, but also that very first class that John mentioned, the real estate liability. It's thinking about risks from a real estate agent's perspective and even a real estate broker's perspective, because the broker ultimately has that insurance policy. So it's in their best interest to help their agents act in a very risk management way, but also from the agent's perspective, protect their own license. It's their livelihood. So that's really where that class comes into play.
And by the way, you do offer broker, any brokers out there listening, you offer broker E&O insurance all the time.
Absolutely. We are so look forward to having the conversation with our real estate businesses who are operating the real estate industry. We want to make sure that we have that conversation. We understand what risk they want to take on as a business and which ones they want to push off to the insurance company. You mentioned broker errors and omissions, which is their professional liability. They are offering a service, so there's risk there. But then other insurances have come into play, like cyber liability policy. We've seen a lot of, and just other policies that we just want to have that broad conversation so they can view their insurance needs holistically. So absolutely, that is one of them.
Well, the cyber liability is super important. We're hearing more about that every day, and it's going to be, unfortunately, and it's going to be needed even more in the future. And as far as the classes go, we've already mentioned them, you've mentioned them. What, if people want to have the class, what should they do?
So they should give us a call. We encourage conversations about everything, and this is absolutely one of those. So give us a call at 866-798-2827. You can ask for myself, Brittany, or John, and we would love to coordinate a class with your office, or even coordinate it maybe at a local Stewart office.
That's right. You're also helping, as I say, the business development officer and our reps around the city. You're giving presentations that don't get rocked by a hurricane. You're helping people all the time. Once again, that number is
866-798-2827.
I love that number.
I do too.
John, what are some of the other things we should know about?
I think I'd like to reinforce a little bit about what Brittany said about the conversation. So whether we're working with our business clients or our personal clients, whether it's on your E&O policy or your homeowner's policy, it's important to have that conversation and to make sure that you walk away from that, one, being confident in how your coverage is, but also being confident that you're properly insured so that when things happen, you know what the outcome's going to be. We make the time and we look to work with folks that take the time to make sure that they understand what those options are. So as Brittany said so well, knowing how much risk you're willing to take on yourself versus how much risk you'd like to place on to the insurance company.
And it's funny you mentioned the terms properly insured, but I always thought, I don't know if other people think this, but I just always thought, hey, I'm going to pay my home insurance, my auto insurance. I never thought if I was properly insured until I talked with Tom Carpentier, the president of Stewart Insurance, who leads the company, by the way, in a magnificent way, 24/7, even when he sleeps. But until he used that term the first time, I thought, listen, it's more than just renewing the policy. Mm-hmm. I'm going to read the policy or have someone at Stewart Insurance explain it to me so I know if I'm properly insured. Mm-hmm. I don't want any surprises. But, oh, yeah, people should have flood insurance, by the way, too.
Absolutely do want to get that message across. Consider flood insurance. It is absolutely different than other water damages that are in your home insurance policy. So please consider that.
Consider that. And if you'd like a flood insurance policy or quote, they can call.
Please call 866-798-2827.
And guys, what else should people know before we close out the segment here?
Well, there's a misnomer sometimes that, I'm not in a flood zone. Well, everybody's in a flood zone.
I would say so if you're in Houston.
Other than a few small places, small rural communities around the U.S., everybody is in a flood zone. Now, some are of less risk than others, but one thing that we've learned recently of roughly 40% of the homes that flooded at Harvey were homes that were listed as a less than risky flood zone. So one thing to keep in mind is, yes, you need it, and two, we're all in flood zones.
One more time, the number is?
866-798-2827 or stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
And they could call that number in case they want to have a class taught by you guys, and it'll be great.
866-798-2827.
And here we go. As we wind up the show, everybody is back. We now have from the Alliance, the Economic Development Alliance for Brazoria County, the president and CEO, Gary Basinger. So let's tell people as we wind up, what else would you like them to know about what's going on at your organization and down here in Brazoria County?
Well, one of the things that you had said at first, to paint a picture, and it takes me a while to paint a picture, but one of the things that I failed to mention is Brazoria County's, their slogan is where Texas began. The Republic of Texas, the first year of its existence was here in Brazoria County. Stephen F. Austin, who was the father of Texas, brought the original 300 settlers up the Brazos River to West Columbia, and that's where the original capital of the Republic of Texas, there's a replica there now. We're where Texas began.
Indeed. That's so exciting. Right here in this area. And if people want to learn more about your organization and or come on down here, what should they do?
They go to our website, eda-bc.com. We'd love to visit with anybody and tell them what all's going on. This is really a great place to live. I've been here for 11 years, and I love it. It's really good. Like we had mentioned, it's got everything we need, but then if we want a little bit or a whole lot more, we're just an hour away.
Just get in the car. There you go. And the website one more time is?
www.eda-bc.com.
And speaking of money, she is back. Jeanette Merritt, Gateway Mortgage. Jeanette, welcome back.
Hi.
It's somewhat, all these things that we talk about, it all involves money, and you're right there in the center of the action.
That's right. We're here. We're here to help.
So what should we know about Gateway or what you're doing down here before we close out the show?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody we've got a lot of innovative products and programs to service everybody's need. Give us a call. We'd love to work with you. We've got a great team that will help you get through the transaction smoothly, and we want to be there for you when you're ready.
It sounds like you make something that's complex simple for your clients.
That's right.
I like that.
Yes.
I don't even need a loan, but I feel like I should get one right now from you. Is that okay?
That'd be great.
Very nice. Let's tell people how they can reach you.
They can reach us at 979-318-2889.
One more time.
979-318-2889.
Here he is, Greg Flanagan. Greg, welcome back.
Thank you, Bill.
I just like saying Flanagan.
It has a good ring to
It has a tremendous ring to it. Let's tell people, Greg, before we close out the show, what else would you like them to know?
One of the key things about looking for a home is to find an agent that you feel comfortable with and then stick with that agent, whether it be someone at my company or another company. They work hard. They help you find a home. They help you through the transaction. So feel comfortable, check people out, and then stick with them.
Well, it strikes me all the time when we think about real estate, I think sometimes, not always, a buyer or seller doesn't realize the magnitude and all the things that the real estate professional does, because what you do and other real estate professionals, it can get complex. You're bringing so many things together.
It's an interesting business
It's
to be in.
fascinating, yeah.
Yes, I mean, the key to it is most people don't realize what is involved and what can go wrong, and they think, well, I'm going to just not use an agent, I'm going to do it myself, and then they get into a situation where they say, oh my gosh, I need help.
Greg, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
979-233-7828 is our office number. That's 979-233-7828.
And now she is back, Megan Arseneau with TCP. Megan, welcome back.
Thank you, Bill.
So here we are. We're winding up the show. Before we close this thing out, it's always exciting. What else should people know about what you're doing and anything else?
You know, if you want more information on our company, on our team, you can find that information at megarealtyteam.com. We've got a lot of our current listings, some of the other listings that are active in our area. So if you're interested in just taking a look at what's for sale and what everything is priced at in our area, maybe you're looking for a second home, a beach house, a river house to go fishing on the weekends, we've got it. So give us a call, 979-709-3761. We'd be happy to help you with whatever you're looking for.
What if I want a third house?
Hey, we got that too. Whatever you want, we got it.
Okay,
or we'll find it.
I'm just now catching this. The Mega Real Estate Team sounds a little bit like Megan.
Arseneau, Mega, you know.
Listen, man, that's a tremendous. Look at you. That's a great one. Well, Megan, should people be sad that the show is ending at the time of broadcast?
Yes.
No.
No.
You know why?
Why? Because we're going to be back.
Because the show never really ends. They can always go to Stewart.com/Houston any time of the day or night. That's Stewart.com/Houston. Thank you so much for listening to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. That's right. You can go back to show number 1, 2, 3, any of the shows. This is show number 288. We thank you for listening. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We thank Lisa Espy right down here at Stewart Title, where you want to close your next transaction. Yeah, it's a nice drive if you're in Houston, but you can still close it at Lake Jackson right here with Lisa or any other office at Stewart Title. Give them a call at 979-297-6426 or just Google Stewart Title Lake Jackson, the one and only Lisa Espy right here, 979-297-6426. Super team, Stewart Title, thank you all for being on the show. And until next week, we'll see you then. Stewart.com/Houston.